Investigations into the former Minister Samir Tahiri's potential of having cooperated with the Habilai group for the trafficking of narcotics will again be delayed for a further 3 months following a prosecution request. The Director of Fiscal Policies has stated that the law that will close all the betting points by December 31 does include those that operate online and is expected to affect a total of 4,200 individual revenues. Recent movements on international markets are impacting the oil price in the Albanian market, with 1 litre of oil being sold for 184 lek and the expectation that it's set to rise to 200 lek per litre. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Monday the 15th of October 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. The group of 4 prosecutors has decided to postpone the investigation for former Interior Minister Samir Tahiri until January 17th. The case was reviewed this Monday morning at the Serious Crimes Prosecution Office, where the file was analysed with the elements assembled so far. In conclusion, it is said that the 3-month delay will serve to administer the letter of reply that has been launched to Italy and Montenegro. But the review of the property verifications will continue. The file lists the argument of the investigation. The investigations carried out show that the citizen under investigation, Mosi Habilai, and his associates have collaborated with senior state police officials with the former Interior Minister Samir Tahiri under investigation. From the investigations carried out, it results that the citizen has collaborated with police officers, including Samir Tahiri. The person under investigation, Mosi Habilai, in collaborations. Even prosecutors say that they suspect that Samir Tahiri knew and protected criminals. Tahiri was accused by the opposition as being involved in narcotics trafficking. This is after the release of the Habilai group tapping in Italy, where his name was mentioned as the person who supported them. In statements to the media, the Democratic Party accused Samir Tahiri of having travelled with Habilai to Greece with a vehicle that he has since sold. Another accusation was regarding a yacht trip taken by Tahiri on the Black Sea. For his part, the former minister has objected to the charges while handing over the mandate of the MP, where he demanded a full investigation by the prosecution. Chair of the Democratic Party, Lulzim Basha, has called on those with courage in the prosecution to immediately issue arrest warrants for the General Police Director Ardi Veliu and the Police Director of FIR. In addition, he called for the immediate initiation of the procedure to remove Talent Bala's political immunity. I urge those men and women with courage in the prosecution office to execute the arrest warrants for Ardi Veliu and the FIR Police Director immediately. They must enforce the law and, due to violations with criminal and illegal orders, immediately initiate the procedure for removal of immunity and, in turn, dismissal of Talent Bala. Finally, I call on you to launch an investigation into obstruction of justice against Eddie Rama, Fatmir Jafai and Donika Prela. The evidence is clear, and from the prosecution's own evidence, officials reveal how the police and prosecution domes handled the involvement of Talent Bala. Under the protection of Eddie Rama and Fatmir Jafai, it has been determined that a false witness was paid and manipulated to rescue drug trafficker Agron Jafai, the brother of the Interior Minister, declared Lulzim Basha. According to Lulzim Basha, these people manipulated the evidence to defend Fatmir Jafai's brother. According to Lulzim Basha, the behaviour of these prosecutors will not only determine the state of law enforcement here, but also the overall stability of the country. Act as long as it's not too late. Your actions do not only impact the law and the Constitution, but your action or inaction will determine the stability and social peace of the country, said Lulzim Basha. DP Chair Lulzim Basha had one warning for the Chief Prosecutor, Arta Marku, and the Head of Serious Crimes. Manipulation of investigations and the non-investigation of crimes by the prosecution are grave offences, for which the couple, Marku Prela, and their servants in the prosecutor's office will be held accountable. The service to Eddie Rama is a crime, and for this every police officer, every prosecutor and every employee of the state will be held responsible, said Lulzim Basha. The opposition chair, Basha, issued a final call for socialists by asking them to distance themselves from what he referred to as Eddie Rama's criminal regime, while seeking support from the media to fight against criminality. The news of the closure of betting points has been accompanied by pressure being applied to socialist MPs. They have sent a high number of messages against betting. This has been organised by the jail and by those who hide behind companies, so do not panic and do not even hear the slander for an online monopoly, because there will not be any kind of monopoly, declared Rama in response. Licensed sports betting companies have called the move by the Prime Minister as one that is politically motivated. For this reason, the representatives of sports betting have asked the Assembly for a meeting to review the draft law on gambling. We want to remind the Prime Minister, the Assembly and all state institutions that our companies represent about 10,000 direct and indirect employees. In addition, there are about 4,000 object owners who are all concerned about their unclear future in Albania, said representatives of sports betting. In line with the head of the government, the Socialist chair of the Economic Commission also stated that the government has all the required tools in their tool bags to close the betting points by the end of this year. All betting points will be closed and it is useless to continue this conversation, said Erion Brache. Brache also threw charges against these entities in regards to tax evasion. The gambling industry was linked to the system, yet none of these betting companies have linked any single point with the online revenue declaration system, said Erion Brache. The Albanian government has deposited the draft law in Parliament for the closure of electronic casinos and sports betting by January 1st, 2019. The oil price in Albania is one of the highest in the region. Currently, 1 litre of diesel is being traded at 184 lek and is even tending to reach 200 lek per litre. Market operators justify that the situation is the result of the impacts from international markets. Another reason for expensive oil is also taxes that reach the level of 120 lek per litre. Citizens complain that it is absurd for oil to be so expensive, and they appeal to the Prime Minister to review the tax rate because they simply are unable to afford it. They argue that the price is extremely high when compared to the region, yet salaries in Albania are among the lowest. Businesses have also raised concerns over the high oil price in the country, and they have demanded interference with the fiscal package. According to Confindustria, a regulatory entity should be set up, which will be responsible for the price and quality of products circulating in the market. Secondly, the vehicle traffic tax should be reduced by at least 50%. Currently, the tax generates a gross value of close to 120 million euros per year. In Germany or in Albania? This is the dilemma that faces many students in the nursing facility. 2-year professional programs are being seen with increased interest, supplying the lower middle class with guaranteed professions. 329 students of the Faculty of Medical Sciences at Elbasan University started preparing for nursing with a dilemma as to where they will be in 3 years. Some of the students have turned to Germany since the early days of their university, a country that has been back in the Albanian nursing paradigm for several years. It is normal for us to study outside of the country because I do not believe that Albania has a good future for our branch, said one student. But others think that they will work in Albania with the hope that by then something will have changed. It would be much better to work for our own country, said one student. Rural areas need a lot of nurses, so I think we can have employment opportunities there, stated another. 41 study programs will be shut down in universities throughout the country. Scientific programs are the most affected in district universities, where 2-year professional programs have become a novelty. The universities will continue enrolments until November 25, after which the study programs will be formalised and close for the new academic year. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.